So in the first part of section 5, we discussed how we're factoring trinomials where a is greater than 1. But keep in mind, whenever you factor a trinomial in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c, you're always going to get two binomials, one binomial times the other. But also keep in mind that we always have to look for a GCF first. And what's it going to look like when you factor a GCF? Well, instead of two binomials like we're getting here, when you factor a GCF, it'll be the GCF times just one set of parentheses with however many terms you need inside. For example, number 11. We have a GCF here, 6, 15, and 36. What's in common? A 3. So factor that 3 out, and we'll have 3 times the quantity, 2x squared minus 5x minus 12. Now, we need to factor that. Well, with 2x squared minus 5x minus 12, we're going to break that up into two parentheses. The only way I can break up the 2x squared is by using 2x times x. I need to come up with negative 12 at the end, which means one of the signs needs to be plus and one of them needs to be minus. Now, and think of your factors of negative 12. The only ways you can come up with a 12 is by using 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. And what numbers can't go here? Well, we already factored out a 3, so there's no more GCF here. There's not going to be another greatest common factor. So anything that has a factor of 2 cannot work at that spot. So I can only put odd numbers here, again because of that 2. So what odd number do I want to use? So I can either use 1 and 12 or 3 and 4. Guess which one we're going to pick? I mean, it's called guess and check for a reason, right? So if I were to put a 3 here and a 4 here, I could get my negative 12 if one is positive and one's negative. If I had a negative 4 here, that would give me negative 8x. Put a plus sign here, plus 3x. Negative 8x plus 3x would give me my negative 5x in the middle. So bring down the 3 and now we're done. 3 times the quantity, 2x plus 3x minus 4. Look at number 12. In number 12, again, do we have a GCF? Yes, we do. There is a 2 in common, so we're going to factor out the 2 here. What will it look like when you factor that out? You'll have 2 times the quantity, 7x squared plus 11x. Minus 6. And knowing that this trinomial, the ax squared plus bx plus c, knowing that thing can be factored, we're going to end up with two binomials. The only way I can break up the 7x squared is by using 7x and x. Don't forget to bring down the 2. May as well bring it down now. Now I need factors of negative 6 here and here, so that the bottom part of FOIL, I end up with positive 11x. If I were to put a 2 here, wouldn't that give me 14x here? And if I put a 2 there, that means I would have to have a 3 here. And won't that give me 3x here? And since it's a negative 6, I need one to be a plus and one to be a minus. If I had the 14 to be plus and the 3 to be the minus, I could get my 11x in the middle. And sure enough, I'm going to have that by putting a plus 2 and a minus 3. So we're done with number 12. In number 13, is there a GCF? No, there's not. But what's different about this one? What's different is that a is no longer a prime number. So we have some work cut out for us here. Meaning this, I could, in factoring this problem, I could start out with, get my pen back here, I could start out with either 4x times x. What else could I do? I could break up the 4x using 2x times 2x. Now both signs need to be the same. I need to end up with positive 21. Since both signs need to be the same, they're both going to be minuses. So I can go ahead and put my minuses in here. I need 21. So if I were to do 7 here and 3 here, that would give me my positive 21, right? Look at this, negative 7x, negative 12x is your negative 19x in the middle. Number 14, do we have a GCF? No, we do not. But we do have 6x squared. Again, the 6 not being prime, there are two different ways I could start this out. I could either do 6x times x, or I could do 3x times 2x. I don't know which way it's going to work out, but since I need both signs to be the same, and they're both going to be minuses, I'm going to either go with 6x minus and x minus, or 3x minus and 2x minus. And now I need factors of 18. Well, think about this one. No matter what we put in for the factors of 18, I could go 18 and 1, I could go 9 and 2, but look at this. No matter what I did, look at what I'm going to get underneath is the bottom part of FOIL. Nothing's going to end up being negative 7x. We're going to talk more about this one in class, but just suffice it to say for right now that it is prime. It's not going to be able to be factored. Let's move on. We'll talk about that one in class in more detail. All right, so in number 15, I'm either going to be starting out with 8x times x, or I'm going to be using 4x times 2x. Now, since it ends in positive 3, both signs are going to have to be the same. They're both going to be positives. I'm going to have plus and plus here. Let's look at this set of parentheses here. There's only one way to break up the 3 and the 1, right? If I were to put 3 here and 1 here, and again, both need to be plus signs, right? Look at this. We have 2x here, 12x here, and we have our 14x in the middle. So we're done. 4x plus 1, 2x plus 3. In number 16, is there a GCF? No, but look at that 12. I mean, we have a lot of different ways we can start this one out. We could have 12x times x, or we could have 6x times 2x, or we could have 4x times 3x. All three of those ways we could end up with 12x squared, right? Well, just for kicks and giggles, I'm going to be starting off with a 4x and 3x. I mean, it's guess and check anyway. So I'm going to guess when the two numbers here are closest together, 3 and 4. I'm not going to guess 12 and 1 first. That's not going to be my first guess. And think about this. Again, both signs need to be the same. Both signs need to be pluses. What number can I not put here? I cannot put the 3 there, because if I did, what would we have here and here? A greatest common factor, right? Didn't we already check to see if there's a GCF? Since there's not in the beginning, there won't be one in the end. So that tells me right away I cannot put a 3 there. So if 4x and 3x are going to work, it would have to be the 1 here and the 3 here. And let's see if we get 13x in the middle. 9x, look at this. 4x, 13x in the middle, we're done. 4x plus 3, 3x plus 1. Let's come back up here to number 17. Oh my, 32x squared minus 16x plus 2. That 32 is, well, actually it's not so troublesome, because look, what are we supposed to look for? A GCF. Don't we have one here? We have a 2, and a 2, right? So I'm going to factor out that 2, and I'm going to have 16x squared. Still, that 16 is going to be troublesome. Minus 8x plus 1. Now we could go through the whole gamut here of using 16x and x, 2x and 8x, 4x and 4x, but here's what we're going to do. I'm going to write this down, and you need to write this down all. Since this is guess and check anyway, right? If the first and last terms are perfect squares, try their square roots. And we're going to have to guess anyway, right? So you may as well guess their square roots. Maybe it'll work. Since the square root of 16x squared is 4x, let's try 4x times 4x. And since 1 is a perfect square, let's try 1 and 1. Since both signs have to be the same, they both have to be minuses. Does negative 4x and negative 4x give me the negative 8x in the middle? Yes, it does. Don't forget to bring down the 2, and now you're done with that one. Let's look at number 18. Now I have two options here. First of all, look for a GCF. We don't have one. So I have two options here. I can either start off with 6x times x to get my 6x squared, or I could start off with 2x and 3x, or 3x, 2, however you want to write it. I don't care. I'm not going to start off by guessing with the 6x and the x. If I'm going to start off guessing, it's going to be the 2x and the 3x. And then I need factors of negative 6, right? Well, what do I know can't go here? Since there's no GCF, I cannot put an even number there. I can't use 2. I can't use 6 here. Because think about it, we can only use our only factors of 6 are 2 and 3 and 1 and 6. So 2 and 6 can't go here. What can't go here? The 3 and the 6 can't go there. So we are limited as to what we can and can't use here. All right. So let's try this. Let's try putting the 3 here and the 2 here. Obviously, I can't do it the other way again because I'd come up with GCFs here. Now, because they end up in negative 6, the two signs have to be different, and it will make a difference which one's the plus and which one's the minus. So let's see if we can come up with a positive 5x using this combination. Remember, we're doing the bottom part of FOIL here. Here's what I mean by the bottom part of FOIL. Take 3 times 3x, and what do you get? 9x. Take 2 times 2x, what do you get? 4x. If one of these is plus and one of these is a minus, can we come up with positive 5x here? Yeah, if the 9's positive and the 4 is negative, so I'm going to go with a plus 3 and a minus 2, and we're done. In number 19, again, I can start off with 4x and x, or I can go 2x and 2x. I don't know. I'm just guessing here. So I'm going to try 2x and 2x. And keep in mind what your factors of 45 are. I mean, we have to have some combination of either 1 and 45, 3 and 15, or 5 and 9. One has to be plus, the other one has to be minus. So since we have 2x and 2x, it really doesn't matter. Let's just jump in. 1 and 45. Well, obviously 45 times 2x is going to give us 90x, and that's just too far away from the negative 8x, right? So 1 and 45 is not going to do it. How about the 3 and the 15? 3 and 15. Here I'm going to have 6x. Here I'm going to have 30x. Can I get negative 8x out of that somehow? 6x and 30x? No. So let's pop in a 5 and a 9. So here's your 10x. Oh, look at this. Here's 18x. One has to be plus, one of them has to be minus. If the 18 were negative and the 10x were positive, that would give me the negative 8x in the middle, right? So how am I going to get negative 8x and negative 18x? Put the minus with the 9 and the plus with the 5, and we're done with that one. Number 20, do we have a GCF? No, we do not. I could start off using 8x and x, but I'm not. I'm always going to try breaking up that number, and in this case, it'll be 4x and 2x. And here, we only have one combination of a factor to use. It's going to be either 1 and 3 or 3 and 1. So let's just pop something in. 1 and 3. Here I get 2x. Here I get 12x. Can I get negative 2 out of that? No. So let's put the 3 here and the 1 here. Here I get 6x. Oh, look at this. Here I get 4x. Can I get negative 2 out of that if 1's plus and 1's minus? Yeah. If the 6 is negative, so I'm going to go minus 3 and plus 1. Done with that one. Number 21. Now again, we could start off with 18y and y, or I could start off with 9y and 2y, or I could go with 6y and 3y. Guess which one we're going to guess first. Right, the 6y and the 3y. So let's start off with that. Because there's no GCF, right? We already checked for that. There's no GCF here. So let's, just for kicks and giggles, let's try 6y and 3y. I'm not sure if this will work, but since we only have negative 5, I mean, it's only going to be some combination of 1 and 5, right? So if I put the 5 here and the 1 here, here's 3y and here's 30y, and that's a far cry from 9, so that's not going to work. So let's reverse the numbers. Let's put the 5 with here and the 1 here, and knowing that, again, the signs are different. One has to be plus, one has to be minus. Can I come up with a positive 9y out of this? I'm thinking we can. Here's 15y. Here's 6y. If one's plus and one's minus, yeah, I'm going to be able to get positive 9y. If the 15 is positive, that'll give me a plus 5. The 6 is negative, so I make that a minus 1, and I get my 9y in the middle. All right, number 22. 18x squared minus 33x minus 30, and that 18 looks awfully intimidating, but not so much when you realize that there's what here? A GCF, so factor out the 3. What's it going to look like? I don't want 2's parentheses yet. I want the 3 times the quantity, 6x squared, minus 11x minus 10. Well, that looks a little bit better anyway, doesn't it? And again, now I'm going to break this up into 2 parentheses. So, and again, I can start off with 6x times x, or I can start off with 3x and 2x. Guess which way I'm going to guess first. Not the 6x and the x. So I'm going to take, I'm not going to guess that one. I mean, it could. But I'm going to try this instead. I'm going to see if 3x and 2x doesn't work first. And the two signs have to be different because I need factors of negative 10. So it's either going to be 1 and 10, some combination of 1 and 10 and 2 and 5, right? Guess what numbers I can't put here? Well, I already took out the GCF, so I'm not going to have another one. So the 10 and the 2 cannot go here. I have to have an odd number there, right? So let's jump in and see if we can find which odd number does go there. Well, I'm going to go with this one and guess the 5 goes here and the 2 goes here. I don't know if it's going to work. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. That's what we need to find out. Now, if I take the bottom part of FOIL, I'm going to get 4x here. Here's the bottom part of that, and I get 50. Oh, look at this. If the 15 is negative and the 4 is positive, don't I get my negative 11x in the middle? How am I going to get negative 15x? By making it 2x minus 5 and 3x plus 2. Well, there you have it. That is all we have on factoring trinomials in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c. If this made sense, and hopefully it did, you are well on your way to mastering factoring polynomials. We will talk more about this in class. Good luck on your assignment, and we'll see you next time. Have a good one.